was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Full Time Sports Network. It is Monday, which means it's a special edition of the Football Lounge. It is the Football Week Review Show. I am joined by Haaland, apparently. How are you doing, mate?
Well, top goal scorer in Premier League. I have almost more goals than Chelsea. It is fantastic. The bald asshole Pep is very pleased. He is winning another Premier League, unfortunately. But I win Premier League, make it Farmers League. So I do, yes.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Well, keep scoring goals because I've got an outstanding bet with my friend Rebel, which looked like it's coming in. It looks like it's coming in.
Oh, that's that one chip challenge.
Yes, and I know before you say it, I know what I've got to do. Don't worry. I've conceded defeat, but that's going to be for a different kind of talk. What we're going to talk about right now is obviously things that have happened in the past week in the world of football. So I'm going to start off with something a little bit that hasn't been fully confirmed, but we know it's going to happen. Pochettino to Chelsea. Is Pochettino the right man for Chelsea? And how do you think Spurs fans are going to take this?
Well, Pochettino wasn't exactly loved by his owner at the end. He was unceremoniously cast out of Tottenham. He went over to Paris Saint-Germain, where he had absolutely zero control over anything. And as a result of which, basically never really put his stamp on the team. You could say, does he have the ability to work with these megastars? That's yet to be seen, I suppose, given the fact that Leonardo seemed to be the commander-in-chief. Is it a good appointment for Chelsea? Well, when you consider it in the confines of who else was available, Pep is basically glued to Man City. Klopp is at Liverpool. We've got Ten Hag and Arteta, and if any other kind of big name manager is very much firmly rooted to a club. The only one that doesn't seem to be completely and utterly committed to a team is Carlo Ancelotti of Real Madrid. There is rumours that he's going to take over the Brazil national team, but maybe Carlo coming back to England could have been a good move for them. But in terms of Pochettino, he's got an almost ready-made squad at Chelsea. So, with a few additions, like a striker and a few other bits and pieces, maybe a new goalkeeper, because I don't think Kepa and Mendy are earning a lot of love at the moment at Chelsea. He will be expected to hit ground running because Todd did spend the guts of £500 million or euros, I can't remember which, during the two windows that have just gone. So there is a big expectation that Chelsea will attack that league. And a significant thing for me, Colm, and I don't know if you agree, is no European football means their game a week for quite a substantial part to start the season.
No, I do agree. Obviously, European football's a massive thing, especially when you're a club the size of Chelsea, especially after spending how much they've spent. I mean, it's ridiculous. I feel like we need to do like a little death pool for Poch and see how long he lasts. I mean, if you look at his time at Paris Saint-Germain, it was awful. It was so bad. At Tottenham, I know Tottenham fans love him. I mean, I've gone onto a few Spurs channels. I've sat there in the chat, and they're all begging for him to go back to Spurs. But obviously, it looks like now, the paperwork's pretty much done. He's pretty much dotted the I's and crossed the T's. He's going to be the Chelsea boss. But I struggle to see if he's going to deal with the egos that are at Chelsea, because there's quite a few big ones there. I mean, Aubameyang, we saw what he had. He had issues with Arteta. What happened to him? I think, there's a lot of big players in there. I mean, how is he going to cope with? I know we haven't really seen him that much, but Enzo Fernandez, for instance, he's a big money move this season for Chelsea. Is he going to be able to push all these people in the right direction? Is it going to be a case he's going to have to cut as much as possible? Will Tom Bowley let him do that?
Don't forget, there's the Ukrainian superstar that was poached from Arsenal as well. Like, there's big money after they spent on him, and a bit like your Sanchos, your Anthony's, your Pepes, and a few others that have gone before him, there's a big weight of expectation to perform out the gate. And you mentioned Aubameyang. You have to remember as well, not only did they have Aubameyang, they have Lukaku, and they have one other one, Kai, that Havertz, that apparently not really wanted at the club anymore. So he's going to have to figure out how to deal with moving these guys on. There's Zajic, who was supposed to leave, and was it Ajax he was looking to go to?
I think so.
Which, as we know now, was the subject of a protest at the weekend. So they're in turbulent situations at the moment as well, for God knows what reason. But Chelsea, I think somebody said to me, have to call 120 million euros because of the fact, number one, that they didn't hit Champions League. They would have had a small call anyway, but Todd rolled the dice and the roulette machine didn't pay.
No, it didn't. I mean, when you look at the players that they've got, they could easily make that much money, They could probably get 50, 60 million for Lukaku from an Italian club if he decides to go back over there. Havertz probably best off going back to Germany. Let's say 30, 40 million for him. That's nearly 100 million there, but they're going to have to bring players in as well.
Well, there's talk that they're going to offload Mount to the Scousers for 70 million.
See, that no offense to the guy, but he's not worth 70 million. He's not even close to 70 million. That's just my personal opinion. I don't want anybody saying I've got an agenda against him. I just don't think he is, 45 million. Yeah.
And does he even start for Liverpool? And even at that, if he does start, you're paying a lot of money for a player that probably is more rotationary than week in, week out going to deliver.
Yeah. But do you think Liverpool have turned their attention to him because they've missed out on Jude Bellingham?
Well, they've missed out on Jude, who looks like that's a done deal to have Madrid, which is a mega signing for them. The Galacticos midfield is absolutely unbelievable. Even though, did I see Camavinga play at right back the last time against City?
I think he did for a while, yeah.
Then they are out of the market for Rice because Rice will only go to a Champions League team. So that leaves him with Chelsea, United, City, and Arsenal, and the likes. Oh, sorry. What am I saying? Chelsea. Chelsea are going to be in Champions League. Newcastle, I should say. Then McTominay is available to them.
Well, they could have McTominay if they want. If they want to pay 70 million for Mason Mount, then they can pay 60 million for Scott McTominay if they really, really want to. I'll be happy with that. I know a few Man United fans that won't be, but I will be. So, but yeah,
Speaking of Man United fans, you just reminded me of one by the name of Bat Time, and I have some gamer bat water from Wraith here, and the FTSN 22 gets you 10% off on Wraith.com. I believe it's .com. .com.
yes, I do believe it is. I think everything's been shifted about and changed, so we don't have the QR code at the minute because it's just disappeared. I don't know
do.
where it's gone. Well, there we go.
Bada bing, bada boom.
There you go. So scan that QR code. It'll take you there and give you 10% off, or use the code FTSN22. Obviously, we're not going to go to the whole spiel because we've done it that many times. If you really, really want to hear it, go back to one of our previous videos. But definitely go consider picking some up. It's some fantastic stuff. So we'll move away from Chelsea and we'll look at another club. Where is it? That are subject to a lot of disgruntled fans at the moment, and that is our club, Manchester United. Now, reports are coming out that Sheikh Jassim and his team are going to be putting a whopping £6 billion take it or leave it offer to the Glazers to secure Manchester United.
That is a phenomenal amount of money. But I think most people, given the wealth of Qatar and the backing that's behind them, are probably thinking, look, if they really want it, if they want that to be the crown jewel in their football portfolio, they're going to end up just paying an amount that will remove Joel and Avram Glazer from the club by filling their pockets with green dollar bills. But I think what I've learned from this whole saga is the media in general are absolutely bleeding clueless, because we went from the Sheikh's in pole position. No, Sir Jim is in pole position. No, the rock outside Cullum's house is in pole position. They haven't a Scooby bleeding dews about what is going on in those negotiations. Now, obviously, certain tidbits are going to always come out because it is in the interest of Joel and Avram for it to be in the media. There's going to be political footballs thrown up there by the Sheikh and Sir Jim in regards to trying to bring the fans in to support them, because they'll say, oh, this is what we're going to do for the place. But the reality is, what's actually being discussed is in behind closed doors and is only privy to the Glazers, the bidders, and the mediators that are handling the takeover. So is it £6 billion? Who knows? Because that's just a figure used to kind of back up the fact that they need to sell a few more papers. Now, interestingly, I do know that one of the rats turned up at the Women's FA Cup final yesterday. Obviously, that was to do with putting his face in the media. And as a member of the ball community, his membership has been revoked.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get that membership eventually at some point in my life. But I'm obviously, everybody knows that I'm a United fan, but I'm going to stay impartial here. Obviously, over on one of our umbrella channels, the Man United Agenda, you have been covering this whole Manchester United takeover. You know, they've kind of left it to you because, you know, it's what you do. How concerned are you for Manchester United if the Qatari bid isn't accepted and Sir Jim is?
Sir Jim on his own, I would actually be okay with. I'd give him the chance. I'd see what he has to do. What concerns me is the attachment of Rat 1 and Rat 2 remaining. Now, I know what people are going to say. There's currently shareholdings in public holding companies that have been bought up off the stock market. And there's apparently a guy that will own roughly the same amount as what Joel and Avram will have remaining in Class B shares. And all he does is pick up a paycheck. However, I do think we would need to see documentation kind of basically putting the Glazers in a box, and that all they'd be doing, unfortunately, is picking up more interest, and then at a point determined that they would have to dispose of the shares to Sir Jim at a particular rate at a particular time. For me, though, and I'm not sure if other United fans feel this way, while the Glazers are still benefiting from the funds of Manchester United, I don't think I could bring myself to buy anything on the official merch or anything that would support the pockets of the Glazers. As much as I would love to see Sir Jim, if he is the guy, transforming the club and whatnot, the other side of it as well is you have to look at what does that mean in terms of Qatar, because they still want access to that Premier League. It might not be Sheikh Jassim, but somebody over there is going to come in and try and gain ownership of a Premier League club. We already have Newcastle making the right moves and slowly becoming a major, major powerhouse in Premier League. Chelsea have spent a fortune. Whether or not Todd can turn it into trophies, who knows? Liverpool are the obvious candidates that would benefit hugely because, again, they are the ones that would be parallel to United in reputational value. They would be a serious coup for whatever owner would grab hold of them. Now, a bit like us, they do have Americans who covet the dollar bill. So it might not be an easy one for them to get rid of FSG either, but you still have your Tottenhams. And as much as we criticise and sometimes crap all over them by taking the piss, they would be a major, major club based in London. They would be access to mega crowds. They would do absolute bits with a fortune behind them. And you'd imagine it would instantaneously say to Harry Kane, okay, I can win stuff here.
100%. I've got to agree. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to stay impartial in regards to this. With me being the host, I just want to get your views and your opinions because I know you've been covering it quite a lot there. If anybody else has anything, if they disagree with Rebel or they have their own views and agree, whatever, put it in the chat. We will get back to you. Obviously, we can discuss it live whilst we're live, or it'll be after the show's finished. Bobby, if you are watching, I apologise in advance, but I have to talk about it. Arsenal were demolished by Brighton yesterday. Now, we're not going to talk, I'm not going to talk too much about that game, but the question I'm going to ask you, Rebel, is this a chance missed for Arsenal now?
Well, just so I cover my arse, Bobby, I know they beat us as well, and I suppose it's important in terms of the significance of that result. It's left Manchester City a single win away from claiming the Premier League for the third time in a row and gives them the first leg of a treble, something that hasn't been done other than by Sir Alex Ferguson in 1999. Is it a chance missed? Look, Arsenal have come on massively since last season. They play absolutely lovely football. They have put together some players that, on the face, you'd have said, really? But the way that he's got them to gel together, you have to give credit to that. Is it a chance missed? I refer you back to when Tottenham lost out in the league, ultimately to Leicester. There was an opportunity there to end the drought. And as you know, seed in the bag is better than possible seed in the future. And there's no guarantees that Arsenal Football Club will find themselves in striking distance of Premier League next season. As I said before, Chelsea will be a major threat if they get in those 2 or 3 key players that will make that squad tick, and they don't have any European football to be distracting them. You would expect Manchester United will improve and be taking points off various bits and bobs. City or City, they'll still be there next season. And I don't expect Liverpool to ever be as bad as they were this season again. So there's a lot of big, massive clubs that could say that they are in contention with the right set of conditions and avoiding injuries next season. Arsenal could look on this and say, in 10 years' time, if only we'd won that particular league. Now, they may well win it in the meantime, but there's no guarantees.
No. And I just want to clear my back as well, because obviously I have set all this up. This is in no way, shape, or form of me saying that Arsenal have bottled their title chance or anything like it. It's literally just a question of like, City are going to get stronger next season. Newcastle will get stronger for next season. Depending on what happens at Manchester United, they will come back stronger next season. Like Rebel said, I don't imagine Liverpool having another bad season. Then you got, I know it sounds ridiculous, but you got the likes of Brighton and Aston Villa, that are going to improve again. So there's going to be a lot of people fighting for the top 4 spots. I'm not going to say, obviously, the likes of Brighton and Villa and whoever else are going to win the league, but they're going to be fighting for the top 4 spots. The main threat, really, is Manchester City. They keep improving year after year after year. And I think this year, obviously before the last couple of games, Man City were vulnerable this year. And I think, personally, Arsenal players, I think they've just took the foot off the gas slightly too early.
Interestingly, you mentioned Brighton. I think this summer will be a key moment in their history. We already saw big players like Bissouma and a few others moving on from them. And if they want to continue making themselves into a significant threat for European spots anyway, maybe not the title given the quality of City, it'll be key that they hold on to the likes of Mitoma and a few other key players, because if they lose Mitoma, Caicedo, even Esputin looked like he was coming of age in terms of his skill in the Premier League. There's a lot of quality players that could be picked apart, and if they lose those players, maybe Brighton disappear. So it will be very much important for them to hold on, but I do worry for them in terms of, like, say, if a City decides, do you know what, now Mahrez is moving on, we need Mitoma to come in to replace him. They're not going to be able to pay the wage that City are going to be able to pay him.
No, I mean, nobody can really match, probably apart from Newcastle at the minute, nobody can really match City pound for pound. But I don't think it would affect Brighton too much, because they always seem to have somebody ready and waiting to replace whoever's left. Trossard left. Mitoma's come in. It'll be interesting to see how they deal with McAllister when he leaves. Who they're going to bring in to replace him? Have they got somebody already? We're just not seeing it. Their youth system is probably one of the best that I've seen for development players in a long time. And we used to say that about Manchester United.
Actually, interestingly, you mentioned McAllister. Obviously, he was a player that I hadn't actually thought of. There was rumours that Calvin Phillips would be used in part exchange for him.
Calvin Phillips? But he's going to Liverpool.
The City guy?
No, McAllister.
Is that done, is it?
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much done deal.
I hadn't seen that. Okay, there we go. Breaking news that was probably yesterday's news that I missed.
He's already turned around and said that he wants to go to Liverpool.
That's interesting because, again, barring Newcastle or United fecking it up, they're going to be playing Europa League next season.
So it says here, this is on Liverpool.com. Liverpool make Alex McAllister offer as deal agreed with outstanding player.
Okay. That's interesting. That's a significant improvement to that Liverpool midfield. And straight away it kind of says to me, okay, now they're a threat next season. So another reason to kind of fear for Arsenal not winning it this season. And for the rest of us, for that matter.
Yeah, well, I still think they need one or two more players, you know. I know James Milner's leaving, isn't he? Bless him. I can't remember where he's going. He's going Villa or something like that.
Milner? He's got another contract?
James Milner? Yeah, I can't remember where he's going. Where's he going? See, this is all thingy. This all live. But I know he's supposed to be going somewhere else.
Oh my God. This is terrible from a Liverpool fan. I don't know if you can see this. This is the choice.
Top 4, send Everton down. Oh God. Yeah, if I find it, I'll bring it up.
No worries. What?
Brighton.
Hmm?
Brighton.
Is he?
Yeah, James Milner is going to Brighton on a free transfer.
Okay, so I don't see what he's going to add to Brighton's team, I'll be honest with you. Maybe he will be a good influence on the training ground to younger players. Maybe they're seeing that a mentorship aspect to it, especially if they are losing McAllister to Liverpool. But, like, it's bizarre. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'd have said Milner wouldn't even be favoured at this stage by probably the lowest end of the Premier League totem pole.
No, it's very, very strange. But, you know, it's business. It's what they're doing. So we're going to go on to the last one. We're not going to talk much about this because I know we're going to be covering this on another show. I just want to get a quick view because I'm conscious about the time as well. Is the Champions League the new Super League? And what I've got here is I've got the new format as well for it for the 2024-2025. So I'll quickly run through these for anybody that hasn't seen them or doesn't know. So 36 teams are included. That's up from 32. Group stages are replaced by one big league table. Each team plays 10 games in the first phase, 5 home, 5 away. 100 additional games. The top 8 sides in the league phase will qualify automatically for the knockout stage. Teams finishing 9th to 24th will compete in a 2-legged playoff to secure their path to the last 16.
Is it the new Super League? No. And here's my reasoning why. The Super League is already here. It's called Premiership. And the reason why the Premiership is the Super League is a long time ago, and we've been told this by other people as well, the Premier League devised a product that was robust, that had the ability to attract sponsorship, and now sees the lower end of our league being able to outbid the likes of your Barcelonas for players. So, is it the Super League reincarnate? No. Is it a money spinner for the continental clubs to come back in to parity with what was a ridiculous situation? Yes. And here's my concern with it. And I'm not going to go into too much deal with it because obviously we will be covering it again. We have 2 domestic cups. Manchester United are just one example of clubs that have ran the competing all fronts gauntlet before. Liverpool did it last season. the result of that was a game every 3 to 4 days. And that led to burnout, to increased possibilities of injuries, etc. This format will add 2 extra group games, will see nearly every team in the group come out of it, and will add additional fixture pressure. And I don't think the schedulers will be too happy with the way things are going. So it could need the English FA and the Premier League board to need to review the tenability of 2 domestic cups. It's not going to be the FA Cup that loses out. Let's call it spade a spade. It's the most historically significant cup in club football. But the League Cup could find itself all of a sudden becoming a youth competition for the major Premier League clubs if they're forced to continue to play in it. And frankly, I don't think there's even value to allowing a European spot for it at that point, if that is the case. My concern with this is, where will the money be made up? Like, if Barcelona now all of a sudden see a 5th Premier League team coming in, obviously those clubs already have the Premier League money. They'll be getting whatever increased figures will come from the fact that it's an expanded competition that will demand more TV rights, more prize money will be available, because obviously sponsors will be looked for to pay up more. Where do they close the gap on the English clubs if the English clubs are also going to be getting that slice of pie?
This is going to be a very, very interesting discussion when we talk about it, Robert, because I completely disagree and I think it is the new Super League. So it's going to be very interesting when we do it. So make sure you follow, you like, and you subscribe to hear the little sparring match go off between me and Rebel in regards to this. But that's pretty much going to do the whole show now. We've been going for 32 minutes. It's only a quick little review. But before we do go, Rebel, there's a little something that you do to me all the time, and that's guess the player. Well, I have been sitting on a guess the player for quite a while now. And seeing as though it's my show, this is my show and I'm the host, I've got one for you. So are you ready?
I am, but before I do mention, you do go into this, I want to mention Southampton. Commiserations on being relegated from the Premier League. There is a midfielder that I would love to see wearing another red shirt, but that is a discussion for another time. Come on, Colm. You've been waiting for this for a while.
They won't be lonely for very long. I'm sure Leicester and Leeds will join them very shortly. But that's besides the point. Right. So, first clue. I was born 28th of January, 1978.
Just before, for clarification, are we doing Premier League only still?
No.
No, okay. You're 17th next.
28th of January, not 17th. 28th of January, 1978.
Okay. Next.
I was born in Carra, Italy.
Next.
I have represented Italy at 4 European Championships.
Del Piero?
Nope. I competed in the 1996 Olympics and at 2 FIFA Confederation Cups.
1996 Olympics. So that would be what? 30 years ago? Maldini?
No. I was named by Pele in the FIFA 100 list of world's greatest living players in 2004.
Did he play for Paris Saint-Germain?
He did play for Paris Saint-Germain in his career.
Is he a player that you love because he's of the same ilk in position as you?
He is, yes.
Is he Gigi Buffon?
He is Gigi Buffon indeed. Yes, he
It was the
is.
last one. It was the last one.
What, named by Pele?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't get it from that one, I was going to say he started his career at Parma, and as soon as I would have said that, you would have
It
known.
was
anyway.
over. Yeah.
But yeah, so congratulations, Rebel. You got to, I can't remember, 4 or 5 questions. You did a lot better than what I normally do, if I'm going to be honest with you. But that's going to wrap it up for us. We will be back at some point. We don't even know because we're that busy at the moment. We haven't even got a clue.
Well, they do have Champions League to keep them company tomorrow, so they're not too badly off.
No, and obviously we want to get off as well because I know there's a game being played tonight in the Premier League.
Actually, that one is very significant, and I would like to say I wish Liverpool the best of luck.
So ominous. But from everybody here, thank you so much for tuning in. Please do like, share, subscribe. See you all next time.